Hello there. It's another beautiful day. Shall I say it's a snowy day in Colorado? Yeah, the snow is much today. We woke up into snow. Beautiful white snow everywhere. It just really talks about the beauty of God actually. When you see such creation, you marvel. This weekend, it's been more of worship, worship, worship all around me, like I'm listening to people, they're preaching about worship. In the ministry, we're talking about worship this last weekend. Yeah, so this new week is going to be a worship week for us, like a week where we adore God, a week where we celebrate the goodness of God. But today I want to talk about something very, very important. Well, all our talks are usually important, but today I want to talk about a story, a real life story. I wish the story would just be normal story, not real life story, because when you begin to think about it as a new real life story, then it start getting pathetic, but there are lessons to learn in life. I always believe I grew up to know something. You learn. You can either learn from other people or people are going to learn from you. I mean, in circumstances. So it's good to learn from people and usually not make the same mistakes, But today we want to talk about, how do I positively respond to hurt? When people hurt you, I mean, like how do you respond positively? Somebody have asked a similar question. Usually today is supposed to be our question and answer day, and it's actually supposed to be a question. I'm answering questions. So, but we're still going to talk about that, in a minute. But in answering this particular question, how do you respond positively? Like when I talk to people that are going through things and I said, there are ways you can respond to things. You can either react to things, like flare up and do all of that, or you respond. Respond is when you thought about something deep. One of the things I learned in life is to sleep over situations. Sleep over situations. Sometimes you hear some news and you're just going helter skelter because like, no, this cannot be. Why? How? This? And you get so overwhelmed. But sometimes when you sleep over the thing, you begin to understand, you begin to be more calm. Last week was really like a difficult week for me because I lost a dear friend. And when I had the news, it was Sunday night here in America. When I had the news, was it a week, yeah, 2 weeks now? It seems as if it's yesterday, and then I was just crying. I was just like, but I calmed down. The boys were trying to, Mom, you're going to be okay. Everything is fine. But by the next day, I started thinking about the fact that, okay, this person is going to be with the Lord. Yeah, nobody wants it now. But in the long run, on the other side of it, she's going to be with the Lord. She's at peace. There is no sickness. There is no pain. She's probably looking at all of us crying and just laughing, because she loved to laugh a lot. And she was probably just laughing, and that started getting me better. Even though, yeah, days, I will still want to talk about it. I'll still cry, but that's the thing. The fact that I didn't know, the fact that I didn't know about the pain, I didn't know about the sickness, I think those things got to me more. But looking at it eventually, I started responding well. She's a believer, she's with the Lord, and she's in a better place. And I think that began to give me some kind of peace and calmness to say this person is with the Lord. So sometimes in life you hear some things and you're so hard and you just want to react, like people will say, oh, when the Bible says, if someone slap you, turn the other cheek. And somebody said, okay, when the slap you on the right, on the left cheek, this is my left, and you turn the right cheek, Then when they slap the right cheek also, what do you do at that point? Do you just sit down and be watching? There's no cheek to turn, even though, yeah, maybe turn the other one again. But the truth is, when we are hurt, sometimes it's easy to throw caution away. You want to retaliate, it's like you're sitting down and a coal of hot fire, a hot coal gets on your body. The normal thing you want to do, quickly remove your coat, do all of those things. Or maybe even when you're cooking, for us mothers, we cook a lot, every female, male too. So I'm not going to be gender biased about that. You're cooking and there was a time I was cooking, one of my boys was there, and I needed to, the things felt as if it was burning, and I just picked the pot. This was iron pot. I just picked the pot from the electric stove. I just picked the pot. And, my son was shouting, "Mommy, it's hot. Mom, it's hot," and I had to, it started burning. I had to put it somewhere. Another reaction could be drop it. But I'd done how long, cooking that meal. I'm not just going to drop it. It was hard, but I had to quickly think about the safe place to put it on. Yes, after that, I put my hands under water, running water, and my son said, "Oh, Mom, there's something I'm going to apply for you, and you're going to be okay." And he did, and it was okay. But what am I saying? Every pain, every hurt we make our choices what we do. Even when we react immediately on that and it becomes a problem, it's still a choice that we make in that instance. And that's why they say don't rush to make the decision of your life. It's always good to calm down, think over it, sleep over it, and so on. But there is a story that I'm about to share about someone, and it's a very sad story, but the good thing is you and I can learn and make our own story better. When I heard the story, something I could relate with. Maybe something you can relate with. It's something that someone that can relate with it. But while we're doing that, I just want you please to share this video because this is going to bless somebody. I know that this is going to bless somebody's life. Please share the video. So it was this week I had the story of this particular lady. I'm not going to start from the back. I'm just going to start from the beginning of the story. The story is online. It's a real life story. So I'm going to talk according to the story because this person that told the story actually brought in evidence. There were even videos of the particular victim talking about the situation. So it was not like they said something about somebody. No, they brought clips of where the lady actually talked. This lady found this boy. According to the story, she was a teenager then. Well, because if at the time of the story that happened this year, and the girl was in her early 30s, and has 5 children, then you can understand that actually the lady was probably a teenager at that particular time when this happened. So a girl find a boy and so-called falling in love, and they were in love according to the story, but their kind of love was quite different. Is something that I will talk about, a kind of obsession at some point. What is the difference between love and obsession? When you love someone, you care about that person, and the person cares about you. That's what real love is about, that you care about one another. But obsession is when you have a possessive mindset. Like this person belongs to me. You've seen some people like, okay, yeah, this person said, I'm no longer interested in this relationship. And another person go for it and pour acid on the other person, saying that if I cannot have you, then nobody can have. That has become obsession. Obsession where the other person, nobody can even say hello to you. like the opposite sex, sometimes even the same sex. People that are obsessed and have, there are people that usually have low self-esteem. And that's why one of the things that you begin to notice about such people too, you have your friends before, and then you get into that relationship and the person can't take any friend. Nobody should come, no family should come. It has to be about him alone possessing this lady, or about her alone possessing this man. So obsession is evil. Obsession is dangerous. I've seen people that will say, oh, it's because he loved me and he cannot just bear to see another person with me. No, that's an obsession. That's an obsession. Everybody have a freedom to live. Even if when you're married to somebody, the fact that you're married to somebody does not mean that man that you are married to, he has parents, he has brothers, he has siblings, he has friends, he has colleagues. So it's not all about you in that person's life. So you don't want to move to the place of obsession. Most times, people that are obsessed are people that have lost something before. Maybe they didn't have the proper upbringing and they have found what they thought to be real, ideal love, unlike what they've had in their life, and they're just holding on to it. And so if you're not careful, even real love can become obsession eventually, if you're not careful how you do the things you do. Some people are locked. There's a story of a woman, she was practically locked up in the house. She couldn't even go to the store. Like the man goes out and lock her in. That's when obsession becomes very dangerous. But this story of this girl, she started with this guy, and she's on average, the family are above average family, and the guy came from a very struggling family, and it started with giving money. I mean, many of us can relate with that. Somebody asked me when I saw my late mother's box for the first time, I think I was almost 20, when I saw my mother's box. That was when I saw something about my dead mom, and I saw gold in it. Gold, I mean, jewelry, gold. Obviously, my mom was big on that. I didn't get to know her, but she was obviously very big on that. And all the gold and so on. She had just got back from England and all of those things, and somebody asked me, what did you do with the gold? I said, I gave it to my boyfriend at that time. I gave them. They were much. I gave them. Oh, because you just tell yourself, there are some of us, we just want to help people. So when you get into a relationship, the first thing you are thinking about is helping the person. Oh, I just want to help this person. I just want him to be this. And so that was how I started selling my mother's gold, so that our brother can be okay. But there are certain things that makes people the way they are. And no matter what you do, they're still going to be that way. But there's nothing wrong in trying. So I will say, don't say, oh, because of that, I'm not going to help. I still did. I mean, till I got married, you still have to help. The only thing I'm going to say is that while you're helping other people, please don't lose yourself, because that's when the danger comes. That's when the trouble comes. And so this lady, she was not looking out for herself. It was this guy. And it was recorded that at some point, even the money that the parent gave her for school fees, she gave everything to the guy, and she stopped going to school. When the parent tried to intervene and everything, at some point they had to call police, because the girl even started stealing her parents' money to give to the girl, to give to the guy. And it was still her parents' money. At the point they called the police, and the police arrested. Eventually, they let him go. So the parent felt the best thing, from Lagos, we're going to send you to Abuja. That's from the western part of Nigeria to the northern part of Nigeria, so that if you go stay with family, you are going to be, this story is online. But I just want to bring, the reason why I'm bringing it, I want to bring the lessons for us there. And so this girl, they put her in Abuja. Then the guy started sending messages. When this guy started sending messages, oh, if you don't come, if I can't have you, I'm going to commit suicide. I'm going to kill myself. And the girls started, you love somebody and the person is saying they're going to kill themselves. Sorry, it's cold in Colorado. So, so he said he was going to kill himself. When I got to that point, I started remembering, how my first relationship was. Even though at some point there was abuse, there were so many reasons that kept me in that relationship. So I could relate with what this girl must have felt. Even when I said I was breaking out from the relationship, this guy was in Jos. I was living with my aunt then at Janquano Hospital, senior quarters in Jos. And he brought acid to my place one day. And that's going to be a story for another day. And that day was scary for me. Even when everything was over, for days I couldn't go out alone. But one thing I didn't do was get back into that relationship. So the first lesson is, don't get threatened by anything. What is right is what is right. What is wrong is what is wrong. Learn to know the difference. Learn to know the difference between what is right and what is wrong, and stay with what is right, and don't let anything move you. Because if this girl at that particular time have realized that, no, this is not right, why would you say, if I don't have, you're going to kill yourself? I don't have anything to do. If that is not love, that is not love. That's an obsession. If this girl had stopped there, this story would have been a different story. Maybe we wouldn't even be telling a story like that today. Maybe it's going to be a happy ending or happy life. But she responded to that. And eventually, she got to the boy. And the next thing that the parent knew was that she was pregnant. And she came home to say she was pregnant. And when she said she was pregnant, of course, a respectable family, they wanted to cover the shame, so to say, and so they got them. He said he wants to marry her. That's what he wants, not to just have the baby. He wants to marry. So eventually the parent thought, okay, maybe we could talk and so on. And that's the thing sometimes with us parents. We just feel that, okay, maybe if we help a little, maybe if we do a little. The thing is that this was wrong. This was wrong. The fact that someone got pregnant does not mean there has to be a marriage. No. Do I want children out of wedlock? No. Do I want people to abort pregnancy? No. Maybe let's start with to say abstain from sex, while you are not married. But this situation, she got married, but she already got a child. If she already got pregnant, if she got pregnant, she can be taken care of. She doesn't have to marry the guy. If the guy was wrong, if the guy was right, I mean, why not? If not, get them married, let them start a family, oversee the family. But this relationship was wrong. The parent knew that the guy was not going to help the girl. The girl must have felt something. A friend must have told her, but she went ahead and she get into the relationship, and they got married. Some people have got married and things have even been okay. But the truth is that 99% of every marriage that is having major problems saw it before they got married. If they just decide to overlook it, or sometimes we just say, oh, and she has changed, oh, she has not, oh, he has changed. It's no longer that person. It's a lie. That's who that person is. Change, it's a process. Change is a process. Because that was what I kept deceiving myself with in my first relationship. There was abuse, and then it will come, it will prostrate flat on the floor, even if it's in front of the church, even if it's on the street. You said, oh, now I will never do that again. That was a mistake. I didn't know why I did that. And then I would tell myself, I remember my late friend then, Biola, she would say, don't come and kill yourself. This guy. And I was like, no, it's different. No, that was then. Now he's calm. If you even see what he did for me yesterday, like seriously, I wasn't seeing it. I wasn't seeing it. People could see it. Eventually, he married this guy. And from that, the parent, of course, did the wedding. The mother even gave her own car so that they could start off life. And this girl started doing everything to make sure that this guy is comfortable financially. Because they begin to say those things. Oh, if the girl probably have done something, they will say, oh, is it because you are from a rich family? That's why. Don't let people manipulate you. I've seen things like that. This thing that we're talking can be both sides. Sometimes it's the guy that is the problem. Sometimes it's the girl that is the problem. So it's not about gender bias. No, it can be any gender. And so when people begin to manipulate, it's witchcraft. And they begin to say, oh, is it because I'm still struggling? Oh, I'm still struggling. Oh, if I can get something, I will even be better off. Those are manipulation. It's a scheme. And it's a scam. This girl started running. She said she even had to go to Abalis. She even went to extremes trying to help this guy. By that time, remember, she had dropped out of school. So she didn't have anything. She was trying to find. Some people will start condemning the girl. I saw myself when I was leading the story of this girl. When you put in everything, this man must be, this man must be, you're putting everything, you're removing from yourself and you're putting. Sacrifice is very important in relationship, in marriage. But like I said before, when you're finding the person, don't lose yourself. Don't lose yourself, because one day the person is going to turn around and you're not going to be okay for the person from the place where they have reached. I've seen that. I've experienced that. I know what that lady must have been through with that. And I want to say to people, help one another, but also don't lose yourself. Don't. Immediately this guy started making money, the first thing he started doing was sleeping around. They are now going to be younger girls, because remember, she has been laboring and laboring. They're not going to be. I've seen situations where a man invests even in a woman. And the moment the woman is okay, oh my goodness, started treating the man very badly. I've seen that. And so she started sleeping around, started doing things. The girl started talking, and the talk got into abuse, beating and everything. Then the guy got into drugs. By this time, he's had money. They're able to buy a house, have their own house in Lekki. Like, the guy started selling luxurious cars. According to the story, I wasn't there. And then eventually, because the person that told the story was actually bringing the clips of the social media, of the things they were saying, of the things they were putting, of the video that were being posted. Then this girl started having serious issue. She didn't know how to respond to the hurt that she was going, because it's like, this is my sweat. This is my sacrifice. Somebody will look and say, oh, if you will help somebody, just leave it there. No. If you have never been through it, you don't know the pain that comes from it. When you give everything to help the person that is supposed to love you, and when they begin to have, they are not willing to think about your dream. They are not willing to share with you, and you even eventually may even start struggling with the family by yourself. It hurts badly. But the thing is not about how much it hurts. The thing is about what you want to do with that hurt. I believe that she didn't handle her hurt very well. Because when you begin to hoard, what begins to happen is depression begins to set in. Depression can set in 1 day, 2 days, you feel very down, and then you come up again, and then you, but when it becomes real consistent, then it's not becoming a mental problem. It becomes a big mental health issue. And I want to say to pastors